Welcome to In the Queue. I'm Dorinda Angelucci. Today I'm showcasing CTez. He's a singer, songwriter, entrepreneur, showing you all the tips and how he was able to get his videos up in the queue. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell the world at large about you as an artist and what is your music about?
So I guess I consider myself a musician all the way around, maybe a recording artist, but more so on the side of rap, do a little singing, and I try to be as the best songwriter that I can be. Um, but I do have to thank Q Vision and being in the queue to be able to help me get that music to more places. Um,
Absolutely.
as
That's
far as
that
my
is exactly
style,
what Q Vision's about, right? It's helping out new artists and your independent creators, and you're right in there. So I'm so grateful that you came on board.
yeah, if I can be one of the first to really get this moving and to kind of navigate the path and make it kind of more inviting to show people just what it has to offer, then yeah, absolutely. As far as my style goes, I try to keep things rather on the smooth side, the eloquent side, but I don't want to lose the message. A lot of rap today, as embedded in the culture as it may be, good and bad, it misses things and it misses certain elements that could be beneficial to even artists within it. I try to blend some of my business background a little bit with my social life and of course my own personal experiences to kind of make a little bit of a vibe.
You just touched on that. Share that a little bit with the audience. You're more than just a rapper or an artist. You're working on your business degree. Tell us
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. I am currently working on my business degree. It's an MBA with an extension in entrepreneurship. This is alongside my certificate in paralegal studies, um,
Great.
bachelor's in legal studies. It's a little bit of everything. I wanted to make sure that, as I try to navigate this music game, you hear horror stories about people getting involved in things that maybe aren't as beneficial as it should be. So I wanted to make sure I knew, what I needed to know. So
Right.
nobody could really take me for a ride. And not only
Have you
that, but
ever
again, I can offer that to people.
have you ever had to practice any of your legal, knowledge for yourself? Any examples you could share so people could see
Oh,
the benefits of it?
absolutely. Yeah, I know as an artist, you try to put together different types of media. You try to put together things, productions like music videos, short films, or even just deals with other artists to make more money. And in that, you want to be able to have paperwork that clearly states the terms of an agreement. You want to make sure that you're covered legally because,
Right.
a couple things off and you may lose the rights to your work. And that's something that you never want to do as an artist when you put a piece of yourself
Mhm.
into something.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh wait, you didn't shout out your schools. What universities
Oh,
are?
Post University, Connecticut.
Yes,
Yeah, it's a
that's
small
good.
school, but it's a good one. It's a good one. It helped me get where I am today.
It doesn't have to be these big overpriced universities to make the difference. It's all about the quality of education you take from the university. So if you're getting the tools you need from that place, then it's working. That's a success story for you and for all the other students. So that's
Absolutely,
awesome.
absolutely.
Okay, and I noticed on your video you got a lot of swagger and a lot of style. Your latest man. Tell us about how that comes together with the rap and how that put together.
Um,
Because look at even now, you're dressed kind of like you're very mature. You're kind of even a little prepped out sometimes. So put that together.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, when people think of traditional hip hop, there's kind of a certain expectation that comes to that.
Mhm.
And like when I really got into rap, I kind of identified more so with like the Kanyes and the Wale's, the people who kind of didn't necessarily have that corner mentality. And with it came a style, or at least a confidence to be
Right.
stylish in their own, realm. Eventually, that combined with some exposure to, again, the business world that I was in, the certain rooms that I was in, of course, it exposed me to different types of styles and different, partnerships and business that I've had. So I was exposed to brands that I fell in love with, from Ferragamo to like the Gucci and stuff like that, but less of the
Right.
I can get gaudy from time to time, but less of what you would traditionally expect from those brands, and more of talking like Italian slippers and sweaters and whatnot. Yeah,
Exactly. But it's working for you. It's
thank you.
working for you. Share your numbers. I know you have really good numbers. Share your numbers so people know. And also, where are you from?
Oh well, I'm from Westchester County, New York. I wear that badge proudly. Oh, and as far as numbers go, whew, we recently saw a little bit of a boom. Streaming numbers for Spotify have gone up, what about almost 400, 500K streams? That's Spotify alone. SoundCloud streams are moving pretty significantly. And of course, Apple Music, that's where a lot of people nowadays go to get their music. Those are some of the three major players that have kind of really set
Pushed
off.
you out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
sure. So I
And of
know that
course, you
you've
have.
been, I'm sorry. I know you've been, I didn't mean to step on you. I know you've been working a lot with CBT Studios and they've kind of been helping a little the back end, you as an artist, launch, your career and your music and help set it up a little bit for you. Can you explain and tell
Yeah.
everybody about what CBT Studios, what they provide? Maybe others would want to help because your numbers are great.
Yeah. So CBT Studios, it's ran by my uncle. He believed in me enough to, set aside some of his resources and his time to help guide things along. And with that, we've kind of established groundwork that can be followed by a lot of other artists, from behind the scenes logistical things such as your links, managing your media, managing different content contracts, clearances for samples. I know a lot of rappers find a real obstacle in jumping through hoops to try to get that clean sample for that beat that you love. We help with that. Of course, we have since picked up different production tools. Low Effect, they do videos. You probably see the logo on a lot of my videos. We've since got in touch with A&R people, showcases. It's been a real journey, but as we accumulate pieces and parts, I find that every new artist that we encounter, it's almost streamlined for them. And it's a beautiful sight because we know what we went through to kind of find those things and navigate through those problems and figure out, what, maybe we do need this, maybe we do need that. And now to have that all set up and have all those ducks in a row for when the next artist comes in, it's easy.
So artists can reach out to you. We'll put your email up, and then they can
Yeah,
reach out. You're
absolutely.
working with CBT Studios. You're one of the managers
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yep, one of the
awesome.
managing partners of TBT Studios. So, you guys can reach out to me,
Love it.
and yeah, we'll set you up. We'll look through all of your content, do a little bit of a content audit, figure out your direction, and yeah, figure out the best route for you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, what's the difference between CBT and the RFM family?
RMF, yeah. So RMF, that's the gang, that's the team. RMF, that's when it comes to the artistry, that's where all of the dope records on my end come from. That's my team. That's King Heads, that's Baby Johnny,
Ah,
that's Seashell. We got Slim coming out soon. We got a lot of people there that come out with a lot of talented music, some great stuff.
good stuff.
And that's kind of like, again, that's the artistic side. If you want to find that music, you can go look that up. RMF Takeover. Yeah,
That's good. And that's what it's about, right? It's about unity. You're not in it by yourself. One
absolutely.
person gets a little bit ahead, should turn back and help the other. It's a little bit of like, pay it forward, correct?
Absolutely.
Ab-
So, like, if you're familiar with hip hop right now, you'll notice that one of the main places where we see a lot of new artists coming from is like Atlanta. And that's become sort of the mecca of both hip hop, but also unity in hip hop. And while there's always going to be a little bit of beef and a little bit of issues and rivalries, they have had a way of elevating each other to the point of national success, to the point where if you go and turn on New York radio, 9 times out of 10, you'll probably hear an Atlanta artist. And, as we work to kind of unify our own area, we found that there is strength in numbers.
Right, right. So let's go back a little bit to the music videos. This is
Yeah.
because I'm the content curator for Q Vision, I've been vetting lots of projects now, and I've had the pleasure of seeing a lot of new producers and directors and all their work. And a few questions keep coming to me of what's a good shot and how much should I spend for the video, and
Right.
should it be inside, should it be outside, should it just be all mood. Talk a little bit about that
Yeah.
production element that you guys do together, because your videos are absolutely fantastic. They're slick. They're on location, they're remote, they're in hotels.
Right.
Talk a little bit about the production team, and how you guys put together quality videos. And are they on budget? Like, how much money as a new artist are you spending on your videos?
Sure, sure. So I think you kind of touched on one thing and one of those questions, and that's the variety, right?
Mhm.
I know that as of right now, with COVID going on, it is kind of tough to find venues and even settings that you can even kind of take guerrilla type footage of. There aren't the concerts like there once was. There aren't the big crowd events. So a lot of stuff is outside, wide open spaces, or isolated small spaces. The thing is that all of those work. There's no wrong answer. You can figure out just by watching movies, right? I take a lot of inspiration from movies, and whether that's the iconic themes or iconic characters that lend themselves to moments that stick with you, or even just the simple technical
Mhm.
sense of the shots. And I have my boy JK Wood to thank for that, because he's been able to really break down those things. And I
Mhm.
will say this: no matter what the budget is, finding somebody who's willing to work with you, not just in a sense of monetary, but in the sense of vision. Because as a creative,
Mhm.
you're really trusting this person to help convey your vision. And in order to do that, you guys have to be able to communicate with one another. And nobody's a mind reader. So you have to be able to be on that same note and be receptive to both sides, right?
Do you step
Because
in and to direct your videos? Are you directing also?
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of the times, it'll be something that I had in mind, and I might have to step out for a second, kind of visualize how it's going to be, how it's going to look with myself in the shot, and at least kind of draw it out so that, what can be able to see it the same way. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's good to be hands-on, especially at this point in time, because as a relatively unknown artist, it's on you to be that first impression for a lot of people. And you want that to be an honest first impression of who you are. And to do that, you have to really make sure that things are how you want them.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But don't get too stuck either. You do have to be a little
No, no,
flexible.
absolutely.
Right,
Flexibility. Like I said, be receptive to all of it.
right,
The
right.
the person who's shooting your video, 9 times out of 10, they have a little bit more knowledge than the artists themselves about how the camera's gonna work, the
Right,
lighting's gonna work, the framing is gonna work. And you have to be realistic too.
right.
Like, if you're just starting out, you don't have the money to get a helicopter and a helipad and 40 different extras. You don't have the money for that, and that's okay though. That's okay. You don't need all of that. I know
What do
we
you
see
mean? I
that
don't need a
across.
jet. I don't need
Yeah,
that.
I know, right?
Really? I don't need a
You don't-
beach
but
house,
and it's
hot
unreal. Yeah,
tub.
I know. How else can I make it without those things? I don't know, but you don't. You can, if your music is good, if you
Right.
believe in what you're putting out, you believe in the vision, and some of the best, most award-winning films have been made with budgets that you wouldn't believe.
Yeah,
Like,
you're taking
Mhm.
me back to my early hip hop video producing directing days of 1980. Just dating
Yeah,
myself. And I remember doing this video with a group called Def Camp. KRS-One was, they were on his label or some kind of
right.
connection. They had the KRS-One, and they had to have a motel in the Poconos with the girls. It
Hmm.
was cold. It was snowing. But these were must-haves, and I had to find them like a takeover motel, like a ski lodge, and they had the
Eli, yeah.
posse, and we had the pool. We had the pool shop. We had the pool shop.
Shot's always
But
good.
yes, but it was a time when you that was low budget, and we still had easy 20 extras. We took a bus. It was a bus.
Right. Mhm.
It was completely unnecessary. It was I don't, even if I looked at it today, it would have been a great video without going through all that
Out
extra
all of
need.
those elements. But and I will say,
Yeah.
like, I bet you when you look back, the amount of preparation time
Oh yeah,
and like energy that went into it to make it that, you could have went without also,
hundred
it kind of
percent.
held up the production a little bit. And I know even artists that I've talked to will
Mm-hmm.
tell me about a project they have in mind and then won't be able to get it done for months
Right.
simply because there's one
They're
or two
stuck.
things that they're hung up
Yeah,
on. You can't get
they're
around.
stuck. I think one
Right.
of the best videos I ever did was just we rolled in. We were in like a neighborhood and in the hood. Community came out for
Hmm.
it. I didn't know how we had a jib there. The kids were there. It was great. It just flowed.
Right.
1 day shoot.
So,
Everybody was
right.
happy. We gave,
Yeah.
craft services to everybody in the neighborhood. It was lovely. No, no, no,
Setting up.
nothing went wrong, and it was an easy shoot.
Right. The smooth went, yeah, yeah.
Went
Once
smooth.
you get a rhythm like that and it's
Yeah.
smooth and there's no hiccups,
Nope.
no issues, and you don't
It was
spend
really
like,
nice.
weeks in advance trying to scout this location and get this okay and get this
Yeah.
clearance. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
It's
makes a
true.
difference.
It's true. So I noticed something on your Instagram feed. You
Okay.
had a saying. You said this, and this jumped out at me, and I just want to share this and pick your brain about it. You said, and I'll read it from my cue cards. You
Yep.
said, temptation can make for a bad decision, a good story, and a great experience. Where did that come from? Do you remember that piece? You had it on your Instagram pretty much about, I want to say, almost a year ago. I found it deep in the feed, but it just jumped out at me.
Yeah. So um after I graduated from college, I kept in touch with a couple of my professors. The ones that, you always kind of create a bond with certain people. And the one that particularly stood out to me was my philosophy professor.
Mhm.
And that, like, believe me, there's a ton more quotes that guy has like put me on to. I can't remember the exact source that he got it from, but I'm sure I saw it somewhere, and but basically when he told me this, I was probably about to go make some crazy decisions or something from college, the parties or something. And he was just like, look, like, the stories, that's what life is about. Life is about the stories. The decisions, they may be questionable, along that route. They might, but even in the temptation, first of all, believe it's temptation because it is something that you want.
Right, right,
But it's also temptation because it's something that's pulling you away from something that you're doing now.
right. That's good.
From that point, you kind of have to, his point was to be thoughtful about your actions. It's questionable or not. Be
Right.
thoughtful about them. Be ready for the consequences, but be ready for a story as well, because no matter which decision you make, it will influence your story.
I think I saw that and it struck a chord with me.
Mhm.
I have tons of stories. I've made many decisions. I think there's been 1,000 different forks in the road,
Mhm.
to all of my experiences, but um, some of them have derailed where I was supposed to be. For a few times, people kept asking me to get into sales. Like, I'm a production girl, tomboy
Right.
production girl to the 10th
Mhm.
power. And everybody kept coming up with sales jobs. I think it was like 2 years, but anything I touched, it kept saying you should do sales. And I just kept saying, no, like, I don't, that's not where I want to be. Now, don't get me wrong, it was tempting me from my destiny, like
Yeah.
from where I wanted to be. So it kept kind of trying to pull me to
Mhm.
something else. And I think one time I might have done a little bit of that job, and
Right.
it failed disastrously. It
Right.
wasn't on track for me. So
Mhm.
I will use that again, and I will revisit that with some other things in my life and see how that has ebbed and flowed for me. But I just thought it was just great that you put it out there and you put it out there on the feed. Just wondering, like, like I said, where it came from and how the magnitude of it was really powerful, very powerful.
Right. As far as like, temptation for me, like it's, there's always, of course, the normal temptations that everybody would expect.
Yeah,
But, when it comes to like actual career wise, I find that even those things that derail you, you'll really feel that it's a derailment rather than where you're supposed to be, because the
hmm,
other place that you're supposed to be is pulling you and it hasn't let go of that pull. You know,
right,
I started music so early on in my life that every time I would do something else, no matter whether
yeah,
the motivation was to be something practical, was to be something more useful, was to do something that would be more beneficial in the short term, I
Right.
always gravitated back to music in some way, shape, or form, whether it was playing saxophone in the band,
Great.
concert band, whether it was, different things, choir directing, whether it was whatever the case, I always found my way back to it.
Great. Because I think a lot of people think temptation has to be just evil and sinister. Temptation doesn't have to be a negative temptation. It
No,
doesn't have
not
to be
at
the
all.
worst thing in the neighborhood. Temptation just could be
No,
something that just takes you away. And
take
I
it
get
away.
that. I got
Mhm.
that. It wasn't temptation as being the devil. It doesn't have to be
Yeah,
so
yeah,
extreme.
yeah,
It's,
exactly, exactly.
it
Right, right. Hmm.
doesn't have to be. So I got that. Thank you so much for that.
No
All right. I
problem.
see um your trajectory with your music and your other businesses and the academics and the professionalism of everything you have. You also have merch on your on your sites.
I
So
do.
what's going on with the merch? I see all this merch. What's going on? What are you also selling? You're a very layered
So
entrepreneurial endeavor.
like I said, I made it a point to really like take this seriously if I was going to take it seriously. And also I've been blessed with friends around me and family around me that have also had ideas that we were able to collaborate in. And that one of those was diplomacy clothing. And that's with my brother Kyle, Slim to those who know, right? So we've since collaborated and made sure that we offered, of course, the common items like such as sweatshirts, hoodies. We have some sweatpants coming out soon. You know, ladies like shorts, so we made some shorts.
Okay,
And of course,
I asked for shorts way back when you first
you
got into Q.
you're right. You
I
did.
still haven't gotten my shorts.
Mm-hmm.
So
Don't
that
worry. We got some new
Tan Clan
coming
owes me
out.
some
We got some new ones
cologne,
coming out.
some oils.
Got you.
You owe me
Right.
shorts. It's getting backed up.
I got you. I got you. I'll make sure you get all of that.
Easy, easy, easy. But
Mm-hmm.
no, it's really
And
motivating to see as I learn more about the content creators who've gotten in the queue,
right.
how deep they are in their endeavors. It's not just, a project and that's it. It's very layered experiences I'm learning that all of you are engaged in. And I just want to bring that out as I'm talking to you and others that this is not just a one-time hit. It's not like just a one direction kind of thing, not for you and for a lot of the other creators. And I just like sharing the diversity in your background and the diversity of your projects.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. It's really great.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I know that like, being able to find my way into the queue, it has been able to again expand the reach because no matter how many layers you have, that's one obstacle, especially today, that is really daunting. Like being able to kind of navigate through the static noise that is the internet, that is social media, and really find like your target audiences and give them enough places to find you.
Right.
And yeah,
We're happy to be here as part of that answer,
and
for new content creators and producers. That is what this is all about, is trying to be a resource for new projects. So, this is going pretty well. Almost going to be a year in a couple of months. It's amazing,
come on.
amazing. Let's also share what's the music coming up for you. What's next up for you? What music video is the new going to get in the
Yeah.
queue?
So this is actually a big time for me right now, and I'm super excited. Like you can see, like my whole mood just changed a little bit talking
Good.
about like I have a new project coming out, Eau de Vie. It's it's French for water of life. I have an
Ooh.
ongoing liquor name if you see, and of course, there's essence in music, there's essence in liquor, and there's things that bring energy out of people. That's like the water of life. And with this
Okay.
project, I feel like I was able to, you know, embody some new sounds with some new emotions, and really it was motivated by, I guess, a lot of the, we'll call it, drama of 2020. There was some ups, there was some downs,
Yes.
but yeah, a lot of that intensity that 2020 brought to us, I feel like I was able to really put it together and wrap it up in a neat little bow and really
Okay.
tell a story. And
Okay.
yeah,
When is the video gonna drop?
so we're gonna have the whole project's dropping on the 29th,
Of
and
January.
we're gonna have a couple videos January 29th, and we're gonna have some videos coming out with that. We're working on some promotional things, so be on the lookout for that. Some new
Okay.
promotional merch and everything.
Okay, and then
This
that
is an
means
entire.
we're gonna have to have a live event or something for on the Q
Oh yeah,
on Q Vision White.
definitely. Yeah, we're,
Good.
we're definitely putting the finishing touches. I'm just making sure that everything lines up just right, and yeah, we're definitely gonna make something happen.
Well, we're very impressed over here, and I'm happy to share all of your projects. A lot of people will be very motivated as they watch and learn more about you and how clean and put together your packaging is. It's very motivating and uplifting. So thank you. All right,
Thank
we're
you.
down to the last question. Last question.
Okay,
You ready for this? I call it the
I am.
keep it real question. Keep it real. Keep it real.
Okay.
Okay, it's 3 keep it reals off the top of your head. Knicks or Nets?
Nets. I know.
I'm a Knick girl. I don't know. Something
Ah,
about the
you have.
orange and the blue. I don't
I mean,
know.
the
Charles
funny thing about the
Barkley.
Knicks is all that orange has left you a little blue over the years, right?
I
Yeah,
know they don't win very much, but I don't know. It's a garden. It's New
it's sentimental.
York.
Don't get me wrong.
I
The Knicks have a legend
can't.
about them that will never fade, and like again from the business side, they're an asset that has never
It's
ceased to be
something
a
about it. It's how cocky you have to be to not do so well, but yet everybody's still sweating
national,
you. You know how
right?
it's a
Yep.
New York
Always
thing,
the big
okay?
market threat. Always. It's always in the
Always.
conversation. It's always in the conversation. Yeah.
Okay. They don't
Hmm.
gotta win. They're okay. They fly.
All right.
All right,
Yeah.
here goes. Here goes. Are you a? Well, I can't answer you that one. You already answered Tupac and Biggie. I'm not asking you that. Not asking you that. It's cold outside. No, not answer. Tim's or Jordans? Tim's or Jordans?
Oh, I like my Yettas, but I gotta go with the Jordans. I got a bunch of Jordans in
Ooh.
my closet. Yeah. Yup.
Ooh.
Got a bunch of
Okay.
Jordans in my closet.
I know I don't see those in the video, so that's why we
You know
wanted to
that you
know.
gotta catch me on an off day. You gotta catch me on a when it's real low key, when it's more so sweats and hoodies, then I'm
Then
breaking
you
out the
come out.
Jordans.
All right.
Mm,
Fair enough. Fair
yeah.
enough. Okay. What's my last one? The last one. All right. If I had my glasses on, I could see.
Hmm.
Oh, this one. Is it the baby or is it Blueface?
Oh, the baby. The baby. That's my guy. The baby is my guy. Don't get me wrong though. Blueface keeps people moving too though. So I can't be mad at that.
Blueface, baby.
Blueface baby. Right.
Baby.
Right.
Thank you, CTez, for coming up in the queue and getting with me, sharing your wisdom, sharing your knowledge. It's been a pleasure. Where's everybody going to check you out? What are all your handles on your Instagram?
You
Facebook?
can find me on Instagram at CTezmusic on Instagram and music-tez on Twitter. CTezmusic YouTube as well. All of my links and everything are in my bio on my Instagram. You can find me there and find just about everything else I have my hands in.
And how do they get in touch with you about the Computer Blue CBT, the CBT technology?
CBT Studios. You go ahead and send me an email. That's ctezmusic@gmail.com. Really simple. Try to keep things consistent. So yeah,
and what about
if you have any questions, I'm happy to get you there. Mm-hmm.
What about being dripped in Diplomacy, the clothing line?
Diplomacy, the link is right there as well. That's Dip 13, diplomacy.clothing. The merch stores, the link is there. You'll be able to find anything you need. Diplomacy clothing, that's the Instagram. And we have a direct to order method as well. So you can make your own customs. Just hit the designer up directly and he'll work with you.
Loving that. Loving that. All right. I'm looking out. Can't wait to get my shorts in 2021.
Gotcha.